Welcome back, anybody. The logs I'm sitting on came from a couple of trees that blew down over the winter and pulled them out of the woods a couple days ago. My plan is to turn these into fence boards, or at least as many fence boards as I need. Hopefully there'll be some stuff left over. Don't really know. What I'm going to be doing is I'll take each of the logs that I'm going to use, I'm going to cut them into 6-foot lengths because I need 6-foot boards, and I'll put them on the mill and mill them individually. And I do that because by cutting 6-foot logs, I will get a little bit greater yield out of an 18, like for example, this 18-foot log, than if I cut it into 12-foot lengths or 18-foot lengths and milled it all in one shot. So I want to get as much as I can out of each log because I don't really have a lot left over here. So that's the plan there. And the milling plan, I'm going to put the 6-foot sections on, and I'm going to turn them into the largest cant that I can, because the boards that I'm going to cut are 5.5, between 5 and 5.5 inches wide, not 6, and 6 feet long. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of 5 or 5.5 inch wide cants, and then later I'll put them all on the mill individually or in pairs or in triplets or whatever, and mill them into the individual boards. So I guess now's the time to get started. So enjoy. The boards I'm going to be milling are 5.5 inches wide. In order to make my layout so much easier than trying to measure every single log to figure out which is the best orientation for the log to be in to get the can I'm looking for, I've just taken a piece of cardboard and made a 5.5 inch wide template that I can then position any way I choose. When I find the right spot, I put my marks, and Bob's your uncle. The marks I'm putting on the logs are meant as a guide to position the blade. The exact measurements will come later as I'm doing the milling. You may have noticed that the first cut I make on a face is perfectly positioned so that the last cut I make on that face is exactly where I want it to be. This is how I do it. I've already marked out the cant profile on the end of the log. My last cut on that face wants to be near the upper pencil mark. There are two ways to know the position of that upper line. One is to measure up from the bunks, which I can't do in this case because there is no bunk below to take my measurement from. The second method is to bring the saw blade to that position. Once I know what that position is, I adjust the quarter scale so that the quarter scale mark I'm looking for aligns with the position pointer on the mill. In this particular case, my target position falls exactly on a quarter scale mark, so I don't have to adjust the quarter scale at all. That position now becomes my end target for this face. Once this is done, all I need to do is raise the saw head to the nearest quarter scale mark where I want to make my first cut. Now, as I make the cuts at each quarter scale mark, my last cut on that particular face should line up perfectly with my target position. And there you go, right where I want it. Once I flip the log, my end target is going to be at 5.5 inches. Here I am adjusting the quarter scale so that a quarter scale mark aligns with the 5.5 inch measurement on the scale. There's my last cut at exactly 5.5 inches. My goal on this face is to position the blade to make a cut so that there's no wane left on the cant. Oops, it was close, but not close enough. If you look at the inset, you'll see me resetting the quarter scale back to 0 in preparation for my last cut on this cant. Since this cant is going to be set aside for further processing, the first thing I need to do is adjust my quarter scale back to its 0 or home position. The next thing I do is adjust the saw head so that I remove all wane from the cant and also that it aligns with a quarter scale mark. Now when this cant is put back on the mill for final processing, there will be 0 waste and every cut will produce a board. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope that you found it enjoyable and possibly even informative. I know it's a very long video and I do apologize for that, but that's what I had to do in order to get across what I was trying to get across. Anyway, thank you for following along so far and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.